Kirsty TV is about the power of sharing stories that heal ourselves and heal others. My guests share their most intimate stories and lessons learned along the way. Jo Cross is the documentary filmmaker of Fat, Sick and Nearly Dead, which has now been seen by millions of people worldwide. Jo was obese and sick when he decided to take drastic measures and film himself as he went on a journey across the US to heal himself and in the process lose over 100 pounds. He spent 60 days living solely on juice. How did this idea even come about? Are you sitting there with some mate? Like, who decides to go 60 days with no food and just to juice?
I needed to fight fire with fire. I was in an extreme position. I needed to do something extreme. This autoimmune disease I had, chronic urticaria angioedema, which is a fancy way of saying.
I'm glad you said that.
Yeah, it's a fancy way of saying chronic hives. I think the number that stood out for me was that 70% of all disease is caused by lifestyle choices. Right. That means that 30% is unlucky, bad luck. So anyone that's chronically ill, that's kind of good odds. You've got a 30% chance that bad luck and a 70% chance you're doing it yourself. And I needed to find out which camp I was in. And the only real way to find out is to go back to basics and to experiment. And that's what I did.
So tell me about day one. Like, you're sitting there, you're not wanting to get out of bed, you didn't even want to leave.
Well, day one actually isn't that bad. You see, day one, it's kind of like you're skipping breakfast and skipping lunch. I mean, a lot of people have done that, all right? So think about day one is not so bad because you've obviously eaten a lot the day before, and I knew I was going to be doing that, so I went to town the night before. So day one is not so bad. It's really day two and day three when it starts to really set in, because that's when the cells in the body are going, hold on a second, Joe's forgotten about us. We'll show whom he's in charge. We're going to ramp up that headache. We're going to take that anything that you've got, a little problem, it's going to be amplified.
So it wasn't just mental. It was physical.
Oh, definitely
pain.
Physical. Oh my gosh.
So, and you're in the documentary, you see your beautiful mum having a chat every now and then, and it seemed like it was really hard for her. I mean, was there at any point that you actually were worried or fearful for your own life?
No, never. I was at the end. I was already worried and fearful before I started. I was at the end of my road. People ask me this question. Did you do this for weight loss? And the answer is no. I think if I'd been doing this for weight loss, I would have given up. It was too hard for weight loss. I was doing this to get well. I was doing this because I was sick. I was doing this because this was my last shot.
And how's that gone?
Fine.
So you don't
100%.
urticaria anymore?
No, I don't get sick. I don't take pills.
Isn't that amazing?
I haven't been sick in 6 years.
So how do you stop yourself from relapsing?
So I think about it this way, is that really, I like analogies. I think analogies are good. People get that. When you go down to a local swimming pool and you look at people when they get out of the pool, what do you notice about them? They're wet. The question is, how did they get wet? Did they walk in or did they dive in? You can't tell after they're wet. And so, I think there's two distinct paths that we need to understand of which one are we on, which one suits our personality. And so if you're someone who likes to walk in, then working out fun, interesting, exciting ways to just make small little changes of adding more plants to your breakfast, to your lunch, to your dinner, maybe this meal, maybe that meal, maybe adding juice, that's a great way to do it. That's going to take some time, but you'll get there. People who want to dive in, people who want to say, right, I'm saying no to processed food, no to animal product, I'm just going to consume plants, and you know what, I'm even going to go a step further and just drink the water that's been filtered through plants, which is effectively what juicing is, then they're going to get more rapid, more decisive response, but they're going to go through more pain.
Yeah.
So it's the old story, no pain, no gain, right? Or how's it go? No gain, no pain.
My girlfriend came home with a juicer after watching the documentary, so apparently we're going to be juicing soon. But just the reaction emotionally to even the idea of going on a 7-day juice fast was fascinating to me. And so do you worry now about relapsing?
No.
No? You feel like you're strong,
No. I mean, worrying doesn't really do much. I mean, I don't know anyone where worrying's been a benefit.
Do you binge? Have you gone and eaten 2 pizzas since then?
I haven't gone and eaten 2 pizzas, but yeah, I mean, I look at it this way, that for me, it's not about every meal being perfect. It's not about every day being perfect. I look at it like over a week, how have I gone? So I try to live by 50% of my calories coming from plants, 50% coming from what I call the fun part of town, which is animal product and processed food. I'm not perfect. I'm far from it. In my life, I need to certainly, in my life, I look at myself as a work in progress. I'm trying every day to get as many plants into my body as possible. Some days I'm really good at it. Some days I'm not. I don't beat myself up. I go, you know what? I'm going to be alive tomorrow to fight another day.
And do you enjoy healthy food now?
I love it.
Okay. So you're not forcing yourself to eat something that you don't enjoy?
No. Look, I think that part of these little small changes, these little habits you make, that enables that little voice inside between choosing between the salad and choosing between the cheeseburger, is that two things are going to happen. I'm going to either choose the salad because I really want it, or I'm going to choose the cheeseburger because I really want it. I don't find myself these days going, I better have the salad because I know I want the cheeseburger, but I don't find that conversation now.
That's great.
I find the conversation, I want the salad, and if I want the cheeseburger, I have it. But I kind of do a little check and go, when was my last one? I was like 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago. That's okay. I can go to In-N-Out Burger now. In-N-Out Burger's in LA, right? It's in California. It's one of the great institutions of America,
don't
right?
bring up In-N-Out Burger right before I have to do a juice fast.
No, but In-N-Out Burger's great. So like people say to me, Joe, do you go to In-N-Out Burger? I say, of course I do. But it's probably once every 3 months or once every 4 months. Yeah. And it's not something where it used to be 3 or 4 or 5 times a week. And I think if it can be down to these special occasions, you actually enjoy it more. There's no guilt. You have your burger and you go, wow, that was great. And you set your calendar, your diary, 3 months' time, I'll be back. And it's all fun.
Oh, I love that. So it's good to have that philosophy around it, not to be too hard on yourself. So who are you because of this journey?
Well, I think I'm a happier person. I think I'm a more calm, friendlier person. I think that the way I would describe it, and this only sort of dawned on me recently, is I think that this actually, at the end of the day, is about love. I think that there's two great love affairs that we need to have in our lives that many of us aren't having, because I look out there and I see so many people that are hurting and in pain. And those two love affairs are, one is with Mother Nature and plants. So we've got to love our plants. And if we love them, they'll love us back. And the other one is we've got to love ourselves. So those two relationships were relationships that I really had let sort of wither. And as we all know, with any relationship, whether it's your parents, your brother, sister, if you've got them, your person you love the most, your partner, your kids, friends, you've got to work at them. Yeah. You just can't let them go on their way. And I think that many of us out there, when it comes to nutrition, when it comes to food, that kind of gets lost on us. And so, I turned my back on Mother Nature. I went down, knocked on the door. She opened up. She let me back in. But I had to do the hard yards, like in any relationship. I had to work at it. So
you said in the film, you were sitting there on Thanksgiving Day and you said that you're thankful for the disease, for your chronic urticaria. I always ask my guests, some of them have been through horrific adversity, and they always get to a place where they see it as a gift in their life. What were you thankful for that day?
Well, I was really thankful that I got sick, because here I was for 8 years running around, tripping over my bottom lip, feeling sorry for myself. I was like, I'd see people and go, why wasn't it them? Why me? Why me? Why me? But once you get on the path of sort of decluttering your mind, and the best way to declutter your mind, I find, is to just only live on plants for a period of time. It's fabulous. It's just an incredible feeling to be alive. And I realized that I was lucky that my disease actually manifested itself on the outside. What if my disease was just manifesting in my kidneys or my lungs or my heart or my brain, and it didn't have any physical symptoms? Yeah. So I was thankful that my illness showed itself. It reared its ugly head, because that made life uncomfortable. That made life miserable. That allowed me to take action. So I kind of went from thinking it was the worst thing that had ever happened to me to understanding and appreciating that it was probably the best. And when I travel around the world today and I get stopped by random people in the street and they come up and show me their before and after photo, tell me about the incredible success. I'm always reminded that, you know, if I hadn't have got sick, this conversation would never be happening. And so that's a truly special thing.
What did you learn that you didn't know about yourself before?
Well, I've got a saying that you don't learn anything new, you just remember what you've forgotten. Because inherently, we know what's right and wrong. We know the answers to these big questions. And so it's kind of like we've forgotten them, or you just got to try and remember them. And that's been, you know, I've reminded myself of that, and I've remembered that.
Well, thank you for reminding all of us. It's been an absolute pleasure having you here today.
Thank you, Kirsty. It's been great being on the show. I've enjoyed it.
Well, as you see, rebooting is easier than you think. I think it's a great way to get yourself on a juice fast. Maybe you'll find me doing one on Twitter and Facebook in the coming week. So whatever it is for you, it's never too late. Transformation is completely possible, and you will live a better life and feel amazing. I look forward to seeing you on Twitter, Facebook, and subscribe to the YouTube channel below. We'll see you next time on Kirsty TV.
I would have my 3 balanced meals and then go home and eat huge amounts of food and keep it down. I wasn't a vomiter. So we're talking, Kirsty, literally a dozen donuts, a package of cookies, a gallon of ice cream, bowls and bowls of cereal.